Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about what if Belle was Genji and Hanzo, or just Genji and Hanzo's reincarnations. So, in the last video we talked about how, after waking up in the stingy dungeon and after being beaten a lot by, the Freya Familia, he would be told that he should probably get out, because it's finally time for him to basically introduce himself to Freya. So, after being cleaned and also, getting dressed in some pretty fine clothing, and after, going through the halls of the I meant the Freya Familia Mansion. Wait for a second. The Freya Familia Mansion, they would finally arrive at a large-looking dining room filled with many members of the Freya Familia. And after, Freya finally introduces herself to, Belle, she would basically forcibly kiss him. And after that kiss, would basically create a weird-looking mark on him. And after trying to disobey her, well, his body would start to feel like absolute hell. And after saying this, she would basically look back at everybody and saying, this mark is actually a mark that allows her to basically control her, Familia members. So, she would basically tell Belle to basically come with her, because apparently Loki has decided to show up and ruin their little fun time. So, she would basically tell Belle to basically, come with her to her little quarters. Currently outside, let's just say the Loki Familia is currently having a battle with, the Freya Familia, and let's just say Loki was pretty pissed off, wanting to bring back Belle. And as for Belle, currently in Freya's, household, or at least more specifically, her bedroom, Belle's basically being forced to, have, let's just say, yep, that. So, being forced to do that, well, let's just say it was pretty easy for, for Freya, because, after being, subjected with the mark, which allows her to, make, a person hurt if they were to disobey her, and yeah, let's just say, Belle is pretty much complacent at this point. So, after doing all the things that Freya told him to do, let's just say he was basically a dog at this point. A literal, SEX slave. So, after Loki a while basically, going through the, halls of the, Freya Familia Mansion, she would see Belle almost about, to, let's just say, slip in his pickle into her, little crevice over there. So, after seeing this, she would basically be pissed off for obvious reasons, and so they would basically start to have a fight. But during the fight, Loki was almost about to get killed by Freya by Freya basically breaking a glass that she had for wine, and basically getting ready to stab it into, Loki. But thankfully, Beth basically came into the rescue and basically saved her. And so Loki would basically declare war on, Freya, and apparently the prize will be Belle. Yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting battle. And so, both of them would basically start leaving, including Belle, when she decided to go back home, and would fall asleep, but not before basically feeding his young Harasu, aka his bird, and so would fall asleep. So yeah, that is basically what happened last episode. And so, let's talk about what happens next. So, currently with Belle. Belle is currently just like in his room thinking about the mark. It still somewhat hurts, but not as noticeable. I mean, it feels like, being stung like a bee, being stung by a bee, but it isn't noticeable all that much. He would basically start, try to lay down and fall asleep, but it was annoying to try and, fall asleep because of the actual pain of it. It was irritating. He would start scratching at his neck, trying to get the, mark to basically subside, but it wouldn't work. He would start scratching it and scratching it, almost similar to Shigaraki, with his whole tendency to, scratch his neck a bit too hard. While he was scratching it, it would start to draw blood, as you know, you know, Bell at this point is basically pissed off, thinking that he shouldn't have never, decided to just like, do that. Basically, just like, force, like, not really force, but more like willingly decide to, let her kiss him. So, after, a while of basically, staying around, basically trying to go to sleep, but unfortunately, thanks to the goddamn pain, it didn't really work. So, yeah, he's not really sleeping right now. So, as Bell is basically, trying to fall asleep, he would somewhat start to feel the pain to, start to, less and less notice the pain, and so would fall asleep. But when he woke up, it was about, oh, I don't know, maybe like 10 in the morning. As, Izuku would just go, not Izuku, I meant Bell, goddammit. I mean, 10 in the morning seems a bit normal, I guess, to you, Americans, or at least Westerners. But to us, it's pretty much late. So, after seeing this, Bell would basically start to get up and basically change into his, some simple clothing. So, he would decide to go to, to the Loki familiar mansion, and after arriving there, he would see a few people are gone. Like, all of them are gone. As, Izuku, not Izuku, I meant Bell, goddammit. Oh, god dang it. So, we go to Bell, basically, going around and basically ask, some random members what is happening. As one of them would say, oh, hey Bell. As Bell would say this, so where is Loki and the other familiar members? As, sorry about the noise, about my cousin. Anyway, so, he would say, oh, they're currently on, I don't know. Apparently they're gonna be doing something about the whole war game. And, by the way, pretty sad for you. As he would say, yeah, that pain though, it hurts. As he would say this, yeah, I can definitely see why. He would basically say, sorry about that. I just feel a bit tired, guys. Because I'm still pretty much doing an assignment. And also, fun fact, my, little what if about, what if, Deku had the abilities to summon, heroic spirits, or just what if Deku was in Fake Grand Order? Well, I originally wanted it to be set in, in the Kill la Kill universe, and Izuku literally has the powers to summon heroic spirits. Yeah, that was the original idea, until I decided, yeah, probably not. Because of the long-ass episodes, and I sort of forgotten, some of the episodes about Kill la Kill, so, yeah, that is why I sort of wanted to, to revisit that, specifically what if. I'm maybe planning to make a redo of it, maybe, even with the original concept intact, with the whole, idea that Izuku is literally in, in the, universe of Kill la Kill, with the powers to basically summon heroic spirits. And maybe add in some other details, maybe like, for say, he was a part of the church. Yeah. So, anyway, going back into the story, after hearing this, he would say, yeah, pretty much the pain, it really pretty much hurts. As he would say this. So, how did you like, having fun with, Miss, Freya over there? As he would say, I was forced to do it, right? As he would say, but either way, what did you think of her body? I mean, every time I looked at her, she is kind of beautiful, but, being loyal to only one goddess, as he would say, yeah. But to me, she's not as beautiful as Loki. As he would say, so you're really that committed? As he would say, yeah, obviously. As he would say, anyway, you should probably get some sleep. Or at least, somewhat get some sleep. I mean, you definitely don't look good. As you'd say, oh yeah, I tried going to sleep because of this stupid pain. As he would say, yeesh, is it that really bad? As you'd say, oh, a lot. As he would say this, anyway, you should probably just wait over there. You could probably, try and go to sleep on the couch. As he would say, noted. So, after, leaving, that specifically, familiar member basically by himself, he would basically go onto the couch and tries to go to sleep, but prevail at all. So, currently, with the members of the Loki Familia and the the main members of the Loki Familia like Eyes, things of that sort. So, currently with Loki, Loki is currently trying to make up a plan for the war game, and apparently, their war game is basically that war game in the second season of the Manchi. Yeah, that's basically it. It's basically like between them and between the Hestia and Apollo Familia. That's basically what it looks like. So, and for Loki, she's basically explaining the whole plan as everybody's basically thinking of ideas, strategies, things of that sort. And currently with Loki, she's basically making up a plan to basically kill, not really kill, but more like defeat Freya. She even creates a little a little, I guess you could say, prank, I guess you could say, or trick. Apparently, she's planning on maybe using her divine skill to basically, help her, Familia out. Especially because, Bell, aka, Loki's, literal boyfriend, is basically on these stakes. It's basically, pretty much an important thing to her, like, important for her, because she doesn't want to lose her boyfriend, and I mean, it's pretty obvious why. I mean, he's pretty nice, and not only that, he's not as an asshole as, a certain red-haired bitch boy. You can probably know who it is. He starts with an A. Anyway, so, after, doing that, all of them would basically start to leave to go back to, their, familiar household. So, currently with Belle. Belle is still trying to go to sleep, and he's still trying to, fall asleep, but unfortunately, it's pretty much, useless at this point. He's basically, tossing and turning, trying to, go into a perfect position, and even trying to, scratch his, his, neck again, but unfortunately it's still, pretty much painful, and at this point his, neck is pretty much bleeding, but not to the point that where, that's where he's going to lose, like, a lot of blood. So, currently with the other familiar members within the room that, not Izuku, I meant Belle is basically I meant, as all of them are basically seeing Belle, and, feeling a little bit of pity for him. As one of them would say this, so is there really no cure, or at least any type of antidote? As one of them would say this, apparently the rumors say that she only has the antidote, and that's her only. As one of them would say this, yeah, and apparently she's also pretty much a type of person that prefers to not let anybody try and get it. I think the reason why is because, as all of them would basically start to think of these several ideas in their heads, mostly going sexual or just flat out just disturbing. So, after a while of basically tossing and turning, they would basically hear the door open and seeing that it was Loki. So, Loki would basically come in and basically saying, hello to everybody. As she would notice Belle basically trying to fall asleep, but he couldn't. As Loki would see this, she would say, are you okay, Belle? As Belle would say this, oh, I'm just peachy. As he would basically start to, make a fake smile, as Loki would say, don't lie to me, Belle. Are you okay? Or as Belle would say this, fine. My neck, it just hurts. It hurts a lot. I can't even sleep anymore thanks to this damn mark. After saying this, she would say, I see. As Beth would try to, come towards him and would basically ask, so kid, how did she do it? As, Belle would basically explain the whole, how she actually did it, and it caused Loki to start emanating a dark presence that speaks of death. So, after, Belle sees this, he would say, can you please calm down? I don't want you to cause any trouble. She would say, fine. She would basically say, but still, I absolutely hate that bitch for daring to try and touch you. As, Belle would say this. Yeah, I guess so. He would basically start to laugh a little bit. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. So, as Belle would basically try, stand up, he would still feel a little bit, pretty much in pain. As, Loki would say this. Don't worry, I got you. As she would basically, hold up Belle. As she would say, how do you go to my room? I mean, you really want to get some rest, right? So maybe we can stay there with me? She would basically say with a, somewhat sweet tone, which caused everybody to think, yeah, that's kind of cute. Except for Beth for obvious reasons, and for, Rivia, and also, what's her face? Yeah, Eyes. She would basically say, like, both of them would just say in unison, yeah, I guess that's cool, I guess. Both of them would just say out loud. As both of them would basically start to move towards, their bedroom. Or at least, Loki's bedroom specifically. So, after arriving there, Belle would be set down on her, little bed, as Belle would say this. Well, this is comfortable, but I still feel the pain. As she would say this. Don't worry. As she would basically, change her, attire to her sleeping clothes, which are mostly just her in the nude. As she would basically come up to him, as she would basically, hold on to him like for dear life. As she would say, just calm down and just rest with me, okay, Belle? And just calm. Just think about sleeping. Just stay with me, okay? She would basically say with a motherly tone. As she would basically start to rub his arms, then start rubbing his chest then. He would basically start to feel a little bit relaxed. Kind of. He still feels a bit of pain, but it's somehow being neutralized by these soft touches of Loki. Wait for a second. After a while, basically Loki just touching him, she would say, now, just think of nothing, okay? But just me. She would basically say with a calm tone, as, Belle would basically start to feel a bit woozy. Feels relaxed. He would start to think mostly of Loki, his loved one, and would somewhat fall asleep. As she would say, good, my lovely little Belle. She would basically say, as, she would also fall asleep. Meanwhile, with the rest of the familiar members there, they're basically watching this from outside of their, room, and are basically, thinking that it's kind of cute, except for, Beth for obvious reasons, and Leafy and, Eyes would basically think the same as well. With the other, for the Amazon there, specifically, Teode, she's basically still, pretty much sad. Finn is basically supportive as always. The dwarf is also pretty supporting, but more of a pervy way than anything else. For, a certain half-elf, aka, Leafia, she's basically, I guess you could say thinking that it's also cute, but also a bit flustered knowing that she's basically naked. And for many other members, they also have some other types of reactions. I'm not gonna say, all of them, but let's just say it's, a few expressions. To surprise, to mostly just, just, nice. that type of face. So, not really all, but more both of them, specifically Belle and, Loki, both of them would fully fall asleep. So, I'm probably gonna be ending this episode right off here because, yeah, it's pretty much a pretty short episode today, so, yeah, I'm gonna be finishing up my, assignment and things of that sort, so, unfortunately, I'm gonna be ending this episode right off here. So, yeah. So, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.